Hey everybody, we got rain in California. That's good. Anyway, in this episode, we're going to talk about different surfaces that the frames can be installed on. We're going to talk about anchors and the appropriate anchors for different jobs. We're also going to talk about different shaped surfaces and walls and things like that. And I got a great tip for you to build your business. Let's see that. All right, welcome to the second episode of Ask Ackland. We got some great response from the first ones. I want to thank you for all your questions. We got a few more today. We're going to get right into it. Jeff, what's our first question?
What type of surfaces can frames be used on? Okay,
good question. Frames, the Ackland media frame specifically, can be really used on any surface. What comes into play is not so much the surface as the type of anchor that you're going to use when you apply it to that surface. So people ask me all the time, what about metal buildings? Yeah, no problem. Well, what if they're corrugated? No problem. Usually the corrugations are, there's a ridge like stripes that stick out about every 12 inches. So you just have to have the holes every 12 inches. You put your screw right through the frame into the metal surface. In fact, we send sheet metal screws with the frames. And the sheet metal screws come in two different types. One type is a pan head. I don't know if you can see it, but really the pan head right there, it's a pretty one. It's kind of a dome shape. It has a hex fitting. You use a hex head screw, and those look really nice. They're smooth and you know, they don't catch on things. I got to tell you, there's another option that we also ship with every order. We ship two kinds of screws. The other one is the hex head. The hex head is a preferred fastener for installers. The reason is, if you've been up on a ladder with a drill before and you're pushing really hard, sometimes it's hard to keep the point of the drill into a Phillips head screw. So installers typically love the hex head. It's a secure fitting, you get more torque on the drill, and you're less likely for that tip to slip out and maybe scratch or puncture the vinyl. So from an installation standpoint, the hex is the way to go. From an aesthetic standpoint, if it's inside, you got people up really close to it, well, the pan heads are prettier. So that's your choice. We ship both with every order. So sheet metal, no problem. A lot of people will use those screws for trucks. We do recommend rivets for trucks, but I see people all the time using the screws, and you know, that works just as well. It's technically not the prescribed fastener to use. Rivets are a more secure fasten in most cases, but that's in the instructions, which also comes with every order. Really detailed, thorough instructions, easy to read on site, and if you notice, we have an installer's hotline, so if you're out on a job and you run into an issue and you don't know what to do, you can call us. We answer, and we'll walk you through it. So that's one kind of surface. Another type of surface, maybe I should show you real quick here. It's kind of hard to see on this, but to pull it in, actually, I'm not going to do that right now. Okay, I'm going to skip that. Split face rock walls. Those are one of the trickier surfaces. It's brick, but you know, the brick's been like cut, so it's really, from the outside, it's a very rough appearance, and you have varying levels of surface height. You know, there's low spots and high spots, and it's all over the place. They can be done on that. That probably requires a conversation with our office, but mainly we recommend a plastic or metal or wood, just some type of underlayment goes under the frame and helps to sort of smooth out that surface. Use spacers. It's not too tough as long as you're prepared for it going in. The idea is you want the frame to be on a level surface, even if the brick wall is wavy. So there's just some places where, you know, you attach the two ends and get them to be the same distance out from the wall. And then in between where the wall is wavy, you use some spacers, some washers. There's different techniques which we can talk about. Probably too much for this episode, but the bottom line is it can be used on rough surfaces, metal surfaces. Stucco is another one. Stucco, you know, there's always something under stucco. So it's rough. You know, California stucco's all over the place. If you're sitting back east and you're not sure what stucco is, well, it's a kind of a rough, thin cement, kind of a mixture that is coated onto the wall and then painted. Sometimes it's really thick, like mortar, and sometimes, most often, it's a thin layer that can crack or crumble on top of something else. And what's usually under it could be plywood, it could be really any type of wall. Another thing that is more and more common, which is a pain, I'll just tell you, those foam. There's different names for it, but it's foam. Sometimes they're doing these new commercial buildings with thick foam. So it's inexpensive. It you know, gives the builders a way to create mass for less cost. So there's foam structures. Some of them are real decorative. Those are a pain. When you put a frame on top of foam, if the foam is 2 or 4 or 6 inches thick, which I have seen, then you just have to take a little bit more of a strategic approach on that, and you need to drill in a few places before you do the job to find out what anchor should I use for that. And that's the bottom line. Know what you're working with. And what we do is we send the screws that are good for thin surfaces and sheet metal. We also tell you in the instructions that Home Depot, Lowe's, your local hardware store, wherever you shop, usually have a whole section in an aisle of anchors, and there are dozens of different anchors, and they have a nice drawing about the thickness and you know, the best anchor for each type of wall that you're going to go into, I should say. So you got to decide. Just do your homework, know the wall that you're going into, and you might have to go spend 20 bucks at the hardware store to get the right anchor. But the right anchor is going to make that frame and your display last a long time. And I'm talking big displays, 30, 40, 50 feet. The right anchor, no problem. So I hope that answers your question. Thanks for that one.
Yeah, what if the area is not a perfect rectangle?
Oh, that's a good question. Those are fun. The area may not be a perfect rectangle. Everybody thinks of a picture frame, you got a rectangle. It's always got 90-degree corners. But over time, we've had inquiries from customers that are say, hey, I've got an octagon, or I've got just a weird shape. It's taller at the top than it is, or you know, taller on the one side than it is on the other. We've done a number of those jobs now. It's not a problem. This frame is a 2-piece extrusion, and we cut everything that we cut on kind of a production line chop saw. So our standard setting is 45 because most jobs are 45. Here's an example. It is a rectangle, but this is on a radius wall. It's a round, I mean severely rounded wall on a major intersection, and it looks pretty cool. The frame is flexible enough that you can put it on a round wall, and it works. It works great. It does exactly what it's supposed to. As you can see in these pictures, it's been changed out a number of times, and they're getting great feedback, great traffic off of the ads that they do on this corner. And I've seen them go on much tighter radiuses as well. So most likely, if you've got a radius, especially at stadiums or certain types of buildings where there's a rounded walkway, there's usually a rounded wall right next to it. This will go right on there, and the top cap will fit on, and it'll come out really well. So that's a rectangle, but it's curved. Now check out this one. It's a 7-sided shape. And really what you've got to do in a case like that is just get the outside dimension. When you measure from here to here, and from here to here, and from here to here, corner to corner on the outside. If you get that right, we'll get the angles right so that you can cover that surface and you know, put the appropriate shape on the substrate. This is at a casino. This is at Pechanga Casino out here in Temecula, California. They've got columns when you walk out of the casino where the taxis and the buses come by, and they decided they needed some signage on those columns, but the columns are wide at the bottom, narrow at the top. And so again, you just get the dimension from corner to corner, outside dimension, and all the way around. And if those dimensions are right, we'll get the angle right, or we'll help you if you want to cut them yourself, because we sell the frames different ways. You know, we either cut them for you or you can cut them yourself. But it's not a problem. That's the main point. Different shapes, not an issue. Can't really do a circle, but outside of that, if you've got straight sides, then we'll figure it out. We thought about this after episode 1, and we thought it's nice to talk about the mechanical aspects of the product, but we're all here to build a business. We're all here to feed our families and paint a brighter picture for our future and for that of our customers. So we thought what we ought to do to give you the most value possible is in each one of these episodes, we're going to cover some of the technical aspects. Like today, we talked about the screws and the fasteners and different surfaces, things like that. But we also want to give you a tip, how to build your business. We want to give you some practical strategies, some hands-on strategies to help you get business in the door and grow your business. So today, the most common question that I get regarding the marketing is, do you have any support? Do you have any marketing support that we can use to help sell this to our customers? And I say, yeah, by far the most popular, the most valuable tool we have available to you is this display board. Now, if you go to our website, and this wasn't about selling you anything, this is free. We give them away. If you go to our website, on the home page, you scroll down, I believe it's under bestsellers, you're gonna see display board. It's a showroom display board, and you'll see a picture of it, like a drawing of this, right on the home page, down on the right side. Just click it. It'll take you to a page that tells you all about how it can help you, and it gives you a way to get it. We do ask you to pay for the freight, but the best thing you can do is have a living, breathing demo in your hands that you can take to appointments, because people buy what they see, what they can touch and feel, and if they can present it to their customers in a way that shows them, oh, this is how it works. Oh, and I can change out this piece of vinyl here. And so if you have this in your showroom or on your appointments, you will sell more, no question. One of my best friends, Ed Parker, used to always tell me, you can't sell from an empty cart. So he'd say, put something in your cart, give people something to hold, something to see, and you will have more sales of this nature coming in your door. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next week on episode 3.